Okay, I'm here with Nick.
Yes, Nick Ruffalo with Arlington Nissan.
And what's your title here, Nick?
Service manager with Arlington Nissan.
How long have you been with Arlington Nissan or with the group here?
I've been with the group now going on 11 years, and I've been at the store going on 6.
Okay, so the reason we're here is to discuss how you have seen real value in using TEXT2DRIVE's the client services interface portion. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you, how long have you been using the interface? You used the old one, and now you're using
the old one. I use the new one weekly, daily.
Okay. Could you explain or let us know what your basic practice is in using the client service interface? What's your cadence or what's your routine?
Keep it real simple. 3 times a week. I like to run it on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Okay.
Saturdays are typically our busier day, so this way I could contact the customers first thing Monday morning. Okay. And then we text out weekly, and I watch who's texting back, and after they text back, I get to talk to the customer, find out when they like to come back in, and why they decline the services, and what I can do to get.
And what kind of responses are you getting back from customers who do respond to you when you send these declined service messages out? Give us an example of what kind of things they're saying to you.
They're asking what was declined. They're asking how much is it? When can I get it done? Are you sure I declined something? Okay. So when you start seeing stuff like that, you really get to narrow in if it's one of your advisors that may not be telling the customer or setting the next appointment for something that was already declined. So that's another way of looking at it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it is drawing to bring the customers back into the door and get that service stuff that was advised completed.
So what you do as a service manager, you go into the TEXT2DRIVE service portion.
Yes.
Then you go to the client services, and you can see both the opcodes of the services that were performed for each customer and
stuff that was declined.
The decline.
If you like, I can show you.
Yeah. Why don't we do that again while I'm standing here?
Okay, so here I am on the home screen. You're going to come down to here in service. You're going to scroll down here to declined. It's going to give you a date range of your declined services. So as it's populating now, you're going to see a whole list of customers. Like, here we go. Their RO numbers, the date that they came in, the customer's information, their phone number, your service advisor. They actually wrote the vehicle. And then here's the stuff that we did to the vehicle. And you can see these guys are paying customers, okay? And here's the stuff that declined. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back in here.
So you know what those opcodes represent that they
yes.
decline. Okay.
So depending on how your DMS is set up or your procedures at your individual store, I know what these are. This is a tire rotation, that's wipers, you got a brake fluid flush, cabin filter. So I could go through here and I could see the services that were being declined. Down here at the bottom, you can see I have several windows or pages that are available with declined services. If you see yourself not having a lot of these declined services, it's a solid indication that your service staff is not inputting declines for TEXT2DRIVE to extract back from your DMS. So you're not going to have a high successful amount of declines that you get to send back to.
Okay, so it helps you monitor even what's going on with the service.
Correct. Unless you have one hell of a service staff that nobody declines nothing.
Okay.
So here you can see where it says notification sent and notification sent. Those are ones that I already sent out. So through this date line here, this time period, I won't be able to, nor will I send another text message and bombard a customer that just left here 3 or 4 or 5 times.
So the best practice is not to over text.
Don't over text.
Okay.
It's simple text. You're out there. If the customer says, yes, I'm aware of it, thank you. If there's something I can do, and just have a nice cordial conversation through texting. Texting is much faster than I see than any kind of mailer that my advertising company could pull, because they would have to extract the same amount of information, draw up a design and set up a postcard and then go mail it. By the time they've done that, I already sent out a text message.
And most of the mailers have some kind of a discounted offer.
A lot of times you see that because now you want to do something to draw some more attention, have the customer come back in. Why discount the services when you just want to let the customer be aware of something that was declined? It could have been because maybe the mom and dad or the father dropped off the vehicle, the son came to pick it up, threw the paperwork in the glove box, never mentioned it, father never got the paperwork.
Okay, that makes
so now you message the vehicle that had, the father, he finds out that there was tires and brakes that were declined. Next thing you know, he's texting back, hey, let's get this done. How soon can I get it done? I didn't mention nothing about a discount.
And the message you send them is pretty generic, right?
Real
It basically
generic.
has their name. Is it your name in the message? Or
It's going to be the
advisor's?
name that's going to pop up, that's going to go with the text, is going to be the gentleman that took care of the customer originally. So it'll be the service advisor.
Okay.
So, for instance, where it says Vince Sirica right here, if I were to send this gentleman a text, they decline these services, the message that's going to come up is going to say, hello, this is Vince Sirica from Arlington Nissan, and along with our phone number, there were some services that you weren't able to do or you declined.
Right.
And if you have any questions, please text us or call us back. Boom, send it. Real simple.
And people really reply back to
People
that
reply almost instantly. So before I send out that text blast or the text messaging, I let my advisors know that I'm sending out a text message just in case the customer picks up the phone and calls. I don't want my guys to get blindsided and they'll pick up a phone call saying, hey, someone just texted me I declined services. They won't know what that is.
Okay.
But now if they do, they're going to grab the customer's information or phone number, what have you, check the history button and see the history on the customer and see that there was a couple maintenances declined and see if they get the customer back in the door.
So
or at least set up an
so the
appointment.
best practice is you're concerned is when you as a manager send out the messages, make sure you let your team or staff
Gotta
know
let your team know.
that
Let
you're
them
going
know
to be
what's
doing
going
this,
on.
so they know some people are going to start texting or calling.
Correct. Yes.
And customers can either call or text back.
Call or text back.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, good. So it's working out real well for you.
Working out real well.
Would you highly recommend it to the other stores in your group?
Absolutely. If someone thinks that it's not a useful tool or they don't understand it, either A, they don't understand it, or two, they're not using it, so you can't see the benefits.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.